Sorry, this is part two. Distinctive deck. I think I got cut off when I was mentioning that there probably was no permit pulled on this, and I think the liability is a little too high for everybody, in my opinion, to do any repairs on this. So I'm going to go ahead and break it down on giving you a price on removing the entire deck, and I'll give you an option to build some stairs. And I can kind of give you a rough price on what we charge for the deck per square foot, if there's a deck that you want to build. But I think that's the best way to approach this job. And I don't mean to be so negative on it. I'm not trying to be. I just not feeling real comfortable with the liability factor for anybody that's involved in this. Owner, property manager, contractor, tenant. Just too much stuff going on. So that's the way I'm going to call the deck. The siding, it's kind of chattered on the bottom of some of this lap siding, where it just hasn't really been maintained throughout the years very well, and it's just kind of falling apart at the bottom. It's really more of an issue if you want to try to stop it. When it's exposed like that to the elements, it just continues to swell and kind of fall apart. Doesn't look like it's any immediate threat as far as generally speaking on the back here, but there is a piece that's kind of deteriorated. You can see here where it's just fallen off, and you can actually see the interior of the house. A little hole there. That's the framing on the inside. So I would say at minimum replace this piece of lap siding, and then you got a couple corners that I put on just to protect it. I also have one on this side. Really needs an exterior paint job. I wouldn't wait very much longer. It's just gonna cost the owner more money to deal with later on. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I don't get stung here. There's a piece of corner bead that needs to be done there, and I'll give a close-up on the fascia board. You can see it's peeling, and so that's exposed to the elements as well, and that's eventually gonna get waterlogged and start falling apart. So let me move on to the front. So this is actually I guess this would be north side of the house. You can see the bottom, same thing. It's just kind of falling apart. That composite siding, once it's exposed and not protected from paint, the moisture just gets in it and just swells up and falls apart. And then I noticed that you have a little gap here. That probably needs to be protected. And just in general, the house needs paint and or stained. But you can see in between where they closed up where the garage door was, where it meets the old siding, new siding, old siding, that little gap. I mean, even if you just put a piece of 1x or something on there and caulked it with clear, or I guess you could just put clear in there if the homeowner's not too concerned about the aesthetics of it. But even like this window here, that's a 1/4 inch. Caulking around the window. And typically when the siding is on the concrete, it's never really good, because the water just runs right into it, and it's just a matter of time before it starts causing damage. Usually 2 inches of clearance minimum from the bottom of the siding to the top of concrete. I'd like to see that, just so it doesn't get that moisture inside the house. So if you can give me some feedback on some of the specifics of this siding and how you want to approach this. I just don't know how far you want to take it. Surprisingly, this side looks not too bad, and usually this is the side that takes a beating. So I don't know if this side has been painted, and just the lap siding, the fascia board needs attention for sure. It's kind of unique that the shady side over here is the one that really needs some attention. Maybe it's, oh, it looks like it has some kind of animal or something that's found its way into the house. So as far as this siding that's falling apart here, I mean, you could replace it, or you could just put some paint on there and seal it up and try to get a little more time out of it. Kind of keeping an eye on it, make a note to keep an eye on it, and making sure that it's not causing any issues. Well, also this high side here has got a few boards that are kind of chattered and checked on the bottom, that bottom edge. That's usually where it starts, is right on that bottom edge. You can see a kind of a pattern. It's the most susceptible to getting the moisture because it's at the tail end. If you have questions, please let me know, and any feedback on this video would be appreciated. Thank you very much.